How many address bits are needed to select all memory locations in the 2118-16K1 RAM? A8, B10, C14, D16. The correct answer is 14. The checksum method of testing a ROM indicates if the data in more than one memory location is incorrect. B provides a means for locating and correcting data errors in specific memory locations. C allows data errors to be pinpointed to a specific memory location. D simply indicates that the contents of the ROM are incorrect. The correct answer is simply indicates that the contents of the ROM are incorrect. What is the meaning of RAM and what is its primary role? A readily available memory. It is the first level of memory used by the computer in all of its operations. B. Random access memory. It is memory that can be reached by any subsystem within a computer and at any time. C. Random access memory. It is the memory used for short-term temporary data storage within the computer. D. Resettable automatic memory. It is memory that can be used and then automatically reset or cleared after being read from or written to. The correct answer is random access memory. It is the memory used for short-term temporary data storage within the computer. The storage element for a static RAM is the A. Diode, B. Resistor, C. Capacitor, D. Flip-flop. The correct answer is flip-flop. In a DRAM, what is the state of RW during a read operation? A. Low, B. High, C. High Z, D. None of the above. The correct answer is high. The condition occurring when two or more devices try to write data to a bus simultaneously is called A. Address decoding, B. Bus contention, C. Bus collisions, D. Address multiplexing. The correct answer is bus contention. Which are the basic refresh modes for dynamic RAM? A. Burst refresh, B. Distributed refresh, C. Open refresh, D. Burst refresh and distributed refresh. The correct answer is burst refresh and distributed refresh. One of the most important specifications on magnetic media is the A. Rotation speed, B. Tracks per inch, C. Data transfer rate, D. Polarity reversal rate. The correct answer is data transfer rate. A 64-bit word consists of A. 4 bytes, B. 8 bytes, C. 10 bytes, D. 12 bytes. The correct answer is 8 bytes. Which of the following RAM timing parameters determine its operating speed? A. TACC, B. TR and TACS, C. TCO and TOD, D. TRC and TWZ. The correct answer is TRC and TWZ. The reason the data outputs of most ROM ICs are tristate outputs is to A. Allow for 3 separate data input lines, B. Allow the bidirectional flow of data between the bus lines and the ROM registers, C. Permit the connection of many ROM chips to a common data bus, D. Isolate the registers from the data bus during read operations. The correct answer is permit the connection of many ROM chips to a common data bus. Select the statement that best describes read-only memory ROM. A. Non-volatile, used to store information that changes during system operation. B. Non-volatile, used to store information that does not change during system operation. C. Volatile, used to store information that changes during system operation. D. Volatile, used to store information that does not change during system operation. The correct answer is non-volatile, used to store information that does not change during system operation. How many 2K8 ROM chips would be required to build a 16K8 memory system? A2, B4, C8, D16. The correct answer is 8. What is the maximum time required before a dynamic RAM must be refreshed? A2 ms, B4 ms, C8 ms, D10 ms. The correct answer is 2 ms. Which of the following best describes random access memory RAM? A type of memory in which access time depends on memory location. B. A type of memory that can be written to only once but can be read from an infinite number of times. C. A type of memory in which access time is the same for each memory location. D. Mass memory. The correct answer is a type of memory in which access time is the same for each memory location. A CDR disk is created by applying heat to special chemicals on the disk, and these chemicals reflect less light than the areas that are not burned, thus creating the same effect as a pit does on a regular CD. A. True. B. False. C. D. The correct answer is true. Which of the following best describes static memory devices? A. Memory devices that are magnetic in nature and do not require constant refreshing. B. Memory devices that are magnetic in nature and require constant refreshing. C. Semiconductor memory devices in which stored data will not be retained with the power applied unless constantly refreshed. D. Semiconductor memory devices in which stored data is retained as long as power is applied. The correct answer is semiconductor memory devices in which stored data is retained as long as power is applied. Which is not a removable drive? A. Zip. B. Jazz. C. Hard. D. Superdisk. The correct answer is hard. Which of the following best describes EPROMs? A. EPROMs can be programmed only once. B. EPROMs can be erased by UV. C. EPROMs can be erased by shorting all inputs to the ground. D. All of the above. The correct answer is EPROMs can be erased by UV. How many storage locations are available when a memory device has 12 address lines? A. 144. B. 512. C. 2048. D. 4096. The correct answer is 4096. FIFO is formed by an arrangement of A. Diodes, B. transistors, C. MOS cells, D. shift registers. The correct answer is shift registers. Why do most dynamic ROMs use a multiplexed address bus? A. It is the only way to do it. B. To make it faster. C. To keep the number of pins on the chip to a minimum. D. The correct answer is to keep the number of pins on the chip to a minimum. CCD stands for A. Capacitor charging device. B. Capacitor drain. C. Charged capacitor device. D. Charge coupled device. The correct answer is charge coupled device. What is the major difference between SRAM and DRAM? A. DRAMs must be periodically refreshed. B. SRAMs can hold data via a static charge even with power off. C. The only difference is the terminal from which the data is removed from the FET drain or source. D. Dynamic ROMs are always active. Static ROMs must reset between data read-write cycles. The correct answer is DRAMs must be periodically refreshed. Which of the following best describes volatile memory? A. Memory that retains stored information when electrical power is removed. B. Memory that loses stored information when electrical power is removed. C. Magnetic memory. D. Non-magnetic. The correct answer is memory that loses stored information when electrical power is removed. What is a major disadvantage of RAM? A. Its access speed is too slow. B. Its matrix size is too big. C. It is volatile. D. High power consumption. The correct answer is it is volatile. What two functions does a DRAM controller perform? A. Address multiplexing and data selection. B. Address multiplexing and the refresh operation. C. Data selection and the refresh operation. D. Data selection and CPU accessing. The correct answer is address multiplexing and the refresh operation. Dynamic memory cells store a data bit in A diode, B. resistor, C. capacitor, D. flip-flop. The correct answer is capacitor. Which is not part of a hard disk drive? A. spindle, B. platter, C. read-write head, D. valve. The correct answer is valve. ROMs retain data when the A. power is off, B. power is on, C. system is down, D. all of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. Typically, how often is DRAM refreshed? A. 2 to 8 ms, B. 4 to 16 ms, C. 8 to 16 s, D. 1 to 2 s. The correct answer is 4 to 16 ms. Which type of ROM can be erased by an electrical signal? A. ROM, B. mask ROM, C. EPROM, D. EPROM. The correct answer is EPROM. Suppose that a certain semiconductor memory chip has a capacity of 8K8. How many bytes could be stored in this device? A. 8,000, B. 64,000, C. 65,536, D. 8,192. The correct answer is 8,192. Data is written to and read from the disk via a magnetic head mechanism in the floppy drive. A. cylinder, B. read-write, C. recordable, D. cluster. The correct answer is read-write. A 64-byte SIMM is installed into a system, but when a memory test is executed, the SIMM is detected as a 32-byte device. What is a possible cause? A. The memory module was not installed properly. B. The voltage on the memory module is incorrect. C. The most significant address line is stuck high or low. D. The address decoder on the SIMM is faulty. The correct answer is the address decoder on the SIMM is faulty. How many address lines would be required for a 2K4 memory chip? A. 8, B. 10, C. 11, D. 12. The correct answer is 11. When a RAM module passes the checkerboard test, it is A. able to read and write only one S, B. faulty, C. probably good, D. able to read and write only 0 S. The correct answer is probably good. Which type of ROM has to be custom built by the factory? A. ROM, B. mask ROM, C. EPROM, D. EPROM. The correct answer is mask ROM. What is the computer main memory? A. hard drive and RAM, B. CD-ROM and hard drive, C. RAM and ROM, D. CMOS and hard drive. The correct answer is RAM and ROM. A major disadvantage of the mask ROM is that it A. is time-consuming to change the stored data when system requirements change. B. is very expensive to change the stored data when system requirements change. C. cannot be reprogrammed if stored data needs to be changed. D. has an extremely short life expectancy and requires frequent replacement. The correct answer is cannot be reprogrammed if stored data needs to be changed. The periodic recharging of DRAM memory cells is called A. Multiplexing, B. Bootstrapping, C. Refreshing, D. Flashing. The correct answer is refreshing. Which of the following is normally used to initialize a computer system's hardware? A. Bootstrap memory, B. Volatile memory, C. External mass memory, D. Static memory. The correct answer is bootstrap memory. What is the difference between static RAM and dynamic RAM? A. Static RAM must be refreshed, dynamic RAM does not. B. There is no difference. C. Dynamic RAM must be refreshed, static RAM does not. D. The correct answer is dynamic RAM must be refreshed, static RAM does not. Microprocessors and memory ICs are generally designed to drive only a single TTL load. Therefore, if several inputs are being driven from the same bus, any memory IC must be A. Buffered, B. Decoded, C. Addressed, D. Stored. The correct answer is buffered. What are the typical values of TOE? A. 10 to 20 ns for bipolar, B. 25 to 100 ns for NMOS, C. 12 to 50 ns for CMOS, D. All of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. Which type of ROM can be erased by UV light? A. ROM, B. mask ROM, C. EPROM, D. EPROM. The correct answer is EPROM. Which of the following is not a type of memory? A. RAM, B. ROM, C. EPROM, D. EPROM. The correct answer is EPROM. How many address bits are required for a 4096-bit memory organized as a 512-bit memory? A. 2, B. 4, C. 8, D. 9. The correct answer is 9. In general, the have the smallest bit size and the have the largest. A. EEPROMs flash, B. SRAM mask ROM, C. mask ROM SRAM, D. DRAM PROM. The correct answer is EEPROMs flash. Advantages of an EPROM over an EPROM is are: A. The EPROM can be erased with ultraviolet light in much less time than an EPROM. B. The EPROM can be erased and reprogrammed without removal from the circuit. C. The EPROM has the ability to erase and reprogram individual words. D. The EPROM can be erased and reprogrammed without removal from the circuit and can erase and reprogram individual words. The correct answer is the EPROM can be erased and reprogrammed without removal from the circuit and can erase and reprogram individual words. The mask ROM is A. permanently programmed during the manufacturing process, B. volatile, C. easy to reprogram, D. extremely expensive. The correct answer is permanently programmed during the manufacturing process. How many 1K4 RAM chips would be required to build a 1K8 memory system? A. 2, B. 4, C. 8, D. 16. The correct answer is 2. Which of the following memories uses a MOS capacitor as its memory cell? A. SRAM, B. DRAM, C. ROM, D. FIFO. The correct answer is DRAM. Which of the following faults will the checkerboard pattern test for in RAM? A. Short between adjacent cells, B. ability to store both 0s and 1s, C. dynamically introduced errors between cells, D. all of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. On a CD-ROM are raised areas representing a 1. A. mounds, B. lands, C. holes, D. pits. The correct answer is lands. The location of a unit of data in a memory array is called its A. Storage, B. RAM, C. Address, D. Data. The correct answer is address. On a CD-ROM are recessed areas representing a 0. A. Mounds, B. LANs, C. holes, D. pits. The correct answer is pits. Why is a refresh cycle necessary for a dynamic RAM? A. To clear the flip-flops, B. To set the flip-flops, C. The refresh cycle discharges the capacitor cells, D. The refresh cycle keeps the charge on the capacitor cells. The correct answer is the refresh cycle keeps the charge on the capacitor cells. Which is not a magnetic storage device? A. Magnetic disk, B. Magnetic tape, C. Magneto-optical disk, D. Optical disk. The correct answer is optical disk. The time from the beginning of a read cycle to the end of TACS or TR is referred to as A. Access time, B. Data hold, C. Read cycle time, D. Write enable time. The correct answer is access time. Which of the following memories is volatile? A. ROM, B. EPROM, C. RAM, D. flash. The correct answer is RAM. The refresh period for capacitors used in DRAMs is A. 2 ms, B. 2s, C. 64 ms, D. 64s. The correct answer is 2 ms. What is the principal advantage of using address multiplexing with DRAM memory? A. Reduced memory access time, B. Reduced requirement for constant refreshing of the memory contents, C. Reduced pin count and decrease in package size, D. It eliminates the requirement for a chip select input line, thereby reducing the pin count. The correct answer is reduced pin count and decrease in package size. What is a multitap digital delay line? A series of inverter gates with RC circuits between each one, B. A series of inverter gates with RL circuits between each one, C. A series of NAND gates with RC circuits between each one, D. A series of NAND gates with RL circuits between each one. The correct answer is a series of inverter gates with RC circuits between each one. The bit capacity of a memory that has 2048 addresses and can store 8 bits at each address is A. 4096, B. 8129, C. 16358, D. 32768. The correct answer is 16358. How many 8K1 ROMs are required to achieve a memory with a word capacity of 8K and a word length of 8 bits? A. 8, B. 4, C. 2, D. 1. The correct answer is 8. The mask ROM is A. MOS technology, B. Diode technology, C. Resistor diode technology, D. DRAM technology. The correct answer is MOS technology. Which of the following is not a flash memory mode or operation? A. Burst, B. Read, C. Erase, D. Programming. The correct answer is burst. The smallest unit of binary data is the A. bit, B. nibble, C. byte, D. word. The correct answer is bit. Select the statement that best describes the fusible-link PROM. A. User programmable one-time programmable, B. Manufacturer programmable one-time programmable, C. User programmable reprogrammable, D. Manufacturer programmable reprogrammable. The correct answer is user programmable one-time programmable. How can UV erasable PROMs be recognized? A. There is a small window on the chip. B. They will have a small violet dot next to the 1 pin. C. Their part number always starts with a U such as in U12. D. They are not readily identifiable since they must always be kept under a small cover. The correct answer is, there is a small window on the chip. What part of a flash memory architecture manages all chip functions? A. I/O pins. B. Floating gate MOSFET. C. Command code. D. Program verify code. The correct answer is, floating gate MOSFET. An 8-bit address code can select A. 8 locations in memory. B. 256 locations in memory. C. 65,536 locations in memory. D. 131,072 locations in memory. The correct answer is 256 locations in memory. 8 bits of digital data are normally referred to as A group, B byte, C word, D cell. The correct answer is byte, which is not a hard disk performance parameter. A. Seek time. B. Break time. C. Latency period. D. Access time. The correct answer is break time. The ideal memory. A. Has high storage capacity. B. Is non-volatile. C. Has in-system read and write capacity. D. Has all of the above characteristics. The correct answer is has all of the above characteristics. To which pin on the RAM chip does the address decoder connect in order to signal which memory chip is being accessed? A. The address input. B. The output enable. C. The chip enable. D. The data input. The correct answer is the chip enable. EPROM stands for A. Encapsulated Electrical Programmable Read-Only Memory. B. Elementary Electrical Programmable Read-Only Memory. C. Electrically Erasable Programmable Read-Only Memory. D. Elementary Erasable Programmable Read-Only Memory. The correct answer is Electrically Erasable Programmable Read-Only Memory. L1 is known as A. Primary cache. B. Secondary cache. C. DRAM. D. SRAM. The correct answer is primary cache. Describe the timing diagram of a write operation. A. First the data is set on the data bus and the address is set, then the write pulse stores the data. B. First the address is set, then the data is set on the data bus and finally the read pulse stores the data. C. First the write pulse stores the data, then the address is set and finally the data is set on the data bus. D. First the data is set on the data bus, then the write pulse stores the data and finally the address is set. The correct answer is first the data is set on the data bus and the address is set, then the write pulse stores the data. What is the bit storage capacity of a ROM with a 1024-8 organization? A. 1024. B. 2048. C. 4096. D. 8192. The correct answer is 8192. Which of the following is one of the basic characteristics of DRAMs? A. DRAMs must have a constantly changing input. B. DRAMs must be periodically refreshed in order to be able to retain data. C. DRAMs have a broader dynamic storage range than other types of memories. D. DRAMs are simpler devices than other types of memories. The correct answer is DRAMs must be periodically refreshed in order to be able to retain data. The main advantage of semiconductor RAM is its ability to A. Retain stored data when power is interrupted or turned off. B. Be written to and read from rapidly. C. Be randomly accessed. D. Be sequentially accessed. The correct answer is B. Written to and read from rapidly. Which of the following describes the action of storing a bit of data in a mask ROM? A1 is stored in a bipolar cell by opening the base connection to the address line. B. A0 is stored in a bipolar cell by shorting the base connection to the address line. C. A1 is stored by connecting the gate of a MOS cell to the address line. D. A0 is stored by connecting the gate of a MOS cell to the address line. The correct answer is A1 is stored by connecting the gate of a MOS cell to the address line. Address decoding for dynamic memory chip control may also be used for A. Controlling refreshed circuits. B. Read and write control. C. Chip selection and address location. D. Memory mapping. The correct answer is chip selection and address location.